Good morning. Today we are continuing on with those ratios. So we are working on our ratios. We are doing CO31 today. I can determine if two ratios form a proportion. So the first thing that we need to know, we know what the ratio is. We need to know what a proportion is now. So a proportion is equivalent fractions, rates, and ratios. So think about what an equivalent fraction is. Who remembers how do we find an equivalent fraction? Evelyn? You take your numerator and your denominator and you multiply or divide by the same number. Whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. That's an equivalent fraction. It works the same for rates and ratios. Whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So if it's a unit rate, we know it's going to have the 1 on the bottom. But we can have other rates without it being the unit rate. So if the unit rate was 2 apples per basket, for every 1 basket, you could multiply it up and say 4 apples per 2 baskets. Okay, unit rates have the 1 on the bottom, but rates, you can find those equivalencies. Same thing with ratios. Whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So each of these following is a proportion. Here are 5 different ways that we can prove it. So 3/4 equals 9/12. So let's look at the different ways we can prove this. So this first one, first is a scale factor with multiplication. This is what we were just talking about. We know this from equivalent fractions. So what would my scale factor be that I multiplied 3/4 by, Evan?
3.
I multiplied by 3. So my scale factor is 3/3. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. So I multiply both the top and the bottom by 3. Now, just like Emmeline said, you can either multiply or divide. So we have the scale factor with division. So if we started with 9/12, we know we're going to divide the top and bottom by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So those 2 ways we've used a lot. We know the scale factors pretty well. There are some more ways. Now this time we have 3/6 is equivalent. It's a proportion with 4/8. So this, we're going to simplify. We can find that proportion through simplifying. 3/6, I can divide down to be what? 1/2. What can 4/8 divide down to be? 1/2 equals 1/2. So we know it's a proportion. One side equals the other side. Notice how there's that equal sign for each proportion. One side equals the other side. When you are equivalent, they are equal values. I need to erase so I can scroll up. Now we have 15/25 to 114 over 190. So this one, we're going to use cross products. Cross products are when we multiply, going across that diagonal. So if we multiply 15 times 190, what do we get? Now we need to know exactly what we get, so what can we use, Emmeline? Calculator! Emmeline, what is 15 times 190? 2,850.
Could you please call 109? The C, please call 109.
So now I need to multiply my other side. 25 times 114 is what? Use your calculator. 25 times 114. 2,850. If their cross products are the same, it is a proportion. They equal each other. Kind of a fun way to see if it is a proportion. If 15 times 190 equals 25 times 114, they are cross products. Now our last one is decimal values. How do I find the decimal value of 8/7? What do I have to do? What math do I do to find the decimal of 8/7? I'm going to divide. 8 divided by 7. What is 8 divided by 7, Evelyn? 1.14. Does that equal 28 divided by 24.5? What is 28 divided by 24.5? Use your calculator. 1.14. So these are all different ways that you can use to see if it is a proportion. You can use the scale factor with multiplying or dividing when they are the simpler fractions that we can see easily. Oh, I'm multiplying by 2 on both the top and the bottom. You're using that scale factor. It's easy. You can simplify down. Do they equal each other? You can do the cross products, because it's not so easy to see how 15 goes to 114. That's not an easy one. So doing cross products would work. You could also do that decimal values. One side must equal the other side. If we did that, looking at the top, if we did 3 divided by 4, 9 divided by 12, you get them to be equal. So you can use that with any fraction, rate, or ratio. That's how we find out if they are proportionate. So let's look at that second page. The second page is our work page. What kind of question did we have any? First, I should ask this: did we have any questions on our ways to prove a proportion? We're feeling good about the 5 different ways. So now it says using 2 of the methods discussed on that first page, determine if the values are proportional. Show your work. That does not mean we have to do long division and we have to show all the multiplication we're doing, but we need to show what we're doing. So if I were to do 4/5 to 20 25ths, what's one way I could show my work, Evelyn? Multiplication. I could say 4/5 times 5 equals 20 over 25. What's another way I could do it? I could do it using my scale factor of division. Oops. Because I divide by 5.
The other way around then.
Yeah. I should do 20. Why is it not? Okay, 20 25th. I could do divided by 5. Gets me 4. Divided by 5 gets me the 5. So the question is, determine if it's proportional. I would write yes or equals. And here are my 2 ways. Wait till we're done with the lesson. I did it with the scale factor of multiplication. I did it with the scale factor of division. Okay. If we're going to do something like cross products, you would, well, rewrite it, and you would do 3/7, 39, or 91, and you would do this, and you would write what they both equal. Do they equal each other? You'll put the equal sign. And yes, if they don't equal, you'll put a no. You must do 2 ways for each set of fractions, each set of values. Any questions on the top section? Audrey?
Like, it's like, with our 2 ways, if you put no, do you have to keep trying?
You have to do 2 ways,
Okay.
and they both need to equal no. Show me both ways that said no, it's not a proportion. So you always have to show me 2 ways. If you do 1 way and it says yes, you don't just stop. If you do 1 way and it says no, you don't just stop. You have to show me 2 ways that you used. James?
But if one says yes and one says no.
Then you did your math wrong, and you need to figure out which one you made a mistake on. No matter what, all 5 ways should give you the same answer. It's either a yes or a no. If it's a yes, all 5 ways would be equal. If it's a no, all 5 ways would show you it's not equal. So if you're getting 1 way says yes and 1 way says no, find where your math was wrong. Then we have some word problems. Do not be scared by the word problems. Pencils down, eyes up here. Pencils down. All pencils down. A juice recipe requires 5 cups of orange juice for every 2 cups of water. To make the recipe for a group at summer camp, the counselor mixes 45 cups of orange juice with 30 cups of water. Will the juice taste the same as the original? If not, what will be different? What do I need to do to show my work? James?
You have to at least set up the equation.
Yeah, I have to set up my equation. I have to take my numbers and put them as a ratio. So all pencils are down. When we come to these word problems, I want to see your ratios set up. We can set up ratios in 3 different ways. It could look as a fraction. It could look as with the colon. It can be the word to. But you must set up your ratio. Every 5 cups of OJ to 2 cups of water. So does that equal, that's our question, does it equal 30 cups of water and 45 cups of OJ? So you need to show me if it does not equal, because you have to answer, will the juice taste the same? If not, what will be different? So if it's going to taste the same, it means it's a proportion. It means the 2 values equal each other. So if your answer is no, you have to tell me what the difference will be. Is it going to be too watery, or is it going to be too strong of the orange juice flavor? So tell me what the difference is if the answer is no. James?
Do you have to do 2 ways for the word problems too?
Word problems are just 1 way, but you have to be able to answer the questions. Okay, so use the way that you think works best with these proportions. Any other questions? So with the word problems, I want to see your proportions set up. So show me what you're doing. Am I using the scale factor? Am I cross products? What are you using to answer the question? And then we've got our review with the ratios and the unit rate. Any other questions for today? When you are finished with your work first thing you do is any practice work. Tomorrow is retake day. We've got a lot of people who had retakes that they're going to want to do. So make sure you get your practice work done and make sure your names are on them. Then make sure your Khan Academy is done. It is due tonight. It was a lighter week for Khan Academy. Everybody should have it done. And then work on your math packet. Make sure your name is on it before you turn it in. So if you pull out your math packet, the first thing you do is check to make sure your name is on it. Turn it in and I will check over and let you know which pages you got 100% on and which pages we need to work more on. Remember, the video is on my YouTube channel if you need to watch that video again to get those formulas, figure out how to do the work. If you are watching this at home, we hope you are well and we hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.